Okay, nandyan pa ba kayo? You can react thumbs up so that I would know that you're still there. Okay. 1 minute, I'll start discussing. Sabi ko sa inyo you have to read the e-book kasi I will get questions not only on the PowerPoint but also on the e-book. Okay, so most of my quizzes are multiple choice but it's not point and shoot multiple choice wherein andun agad yung sagot. You have to understand the question, read the different choices kasi again, you have to choose the best answer. Okay? So, maybe na parang pareha. So, you have to choose the best answers. Because that type of multiple choice question, that will be your, that will be the type of exam you will be getting all throughout your dent school life as well as a board exam. So, dapat you have to learn rational thinking. And you have to read everything. May mga natapos in 5 minutes na. O 18 question, 5 minutes natapos mo. And I have like modified true or false questions. So, magbasa. I have given you 1 minute per item. Okay, so hindi kailangan magmadali kasi it's proven na kaya ng 1 minute per item. Okay, so today I will be discussing the second topic for oral anatomy. So we'll talk about formation and physiology of permanent dentition and some about occlusion. Next week, it's August 21. It will be a holiday in the Philippines, so no classes. The week after that, doon na magko-continue yung discussion. So again, quiz first, followed by discussion. Okay, let's start the discussion. Okay, so again, our second topic is formation and physiology of the permanent dentition. Again, I'm Dr. Jennifer De Luna. Okay, I'm just Dr. Jennifer De Luna, I think in Canvas. I'm not still GAPI in the Philippines. Okay, so for the objectives, is for today, it is to obtain a general understanding of the development of the human dentition. So, we'll probably talk about a little lang about tooth development kasi there is a subject which will be your subject next semester once you pass oral anatomy about tooth development, and that is oral histology. Second is to approximate the calcification and eruption schedule of the human dentition. So that is actually the bulk of the discussion. We will discuss the schedule of the tooth eruption. There is a different schedule for each tooth, and you should know this by heart. Okay, starting now until you graduate, until you become professional dentist. Kasi your patients, specifically parents of your pedia patients, they usually ask na, Doc, kailan tutubo ang permanent first molars niya or permanent teeth niya? So, you cannot Google that in front of your patients or you have to know it by heart. Okay? And it is also very important kasi you also have to time the extraction of baby tooth. Kasi if there's a premature extraction of the baby tooth, it would cause future problems like malalignment. Okay, and third is to know the physiology of the permanent dentition. So you would see that there are different forms in shape of the permanent dentition. So we would know why is it essential that they have this different shape per surface. So outline of the lecture for today is more on chapter 2 and chapter 4 of the book Oral Anatomy and Occlusion by Ash. Again, the ebook, it's on Canvas, the orientation module. Just open the reference page. You would see a Google Drive link of my PowerPoint and another link wherein you can download, that is the ebook for oral anatomy. So chapter 2, it has the development, calcification, and eruption of teeth. Chapter 4 includes form and function, tooth and jaw movements, comparative dental anatomy, and geometric outline. So again, read the book, read chapter 2 and chapter 4. Okay, so let's start the discussion with tooth development. Tooth development is also called odontogenesis. So odonto means tooth, genesis means beginning. So So this is a complex process by which teeth form from embryonic cells, grow, and erupt into the mouth. So for human teeth, okay, the tooth development also starts during pregnancy. Okay, di ba sinasabi that the first trimester of a pregnant woman is very delicate kasi doon nagsa-start in development of the different organs of the body. And this includes the development of the tooth. Okay, so there are different stages of tooth development, and often it will all develop fetally. Okay, so the primary teeth, they starts to form since they are the first to erupt. They normally starts tooth development between 6 to 8 weeks uterosa. That's around 2 months of pregnancy. And for the permanent teeth, okay, it begins to form at around 20th week. So, bilang tayo, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. So, around 5 months of pregnancy. So, if tooth does not start to develop during those times, okay, during pregnancy, it means there will be no tooth that will develop at all. So, di ba, may mga patients that doesn't have teeth congenitally, okay, since it doesn't develop prenatally. So again, another discussion on tooth development. Dental development usually begins in the 5th or 6th week of prenatal life. This is the development of the primary dentition. By the 7th week, skin cells of the mouth, called epithelium, it thickens along the ridge of the developing jaw, creating a horseshoe-shaped band called the dental lamina. So in short, the first structure to develop is a dental arc, and that we call it dental lamina. Okay, so again, this dental lamina, okay, this will normally form the dental arc since it has a horseshoe-shaped band. Okay, the growth period of development is divided into different stages. So we have the bud stage, cap stage, and the bell stage. Okay, so ito yung sinasabi that by 7th week, okay, prenatally, so ibig sabihin you are still on the womb of your parent, of your mom, okay, there will be a development of a dental lamina. Okay, technically it looks like a horseshoe shape resembling the dental arc. Okay, so we have two dental arc, one on the upper and one on the lower. We call it the maxillary arc and the dental arc. Okay, prenatally we call it the dental lamina. So, next is the bud stage. So, di ba sabi that there are different stages of tooth development. First is the bud stage. So, from the dental lamina, patches of epithelial cells grow into the underlying tissues, and these patches of cells are called tooth buds. As soon as the dental lamina is formed, the tooth buds for the primary teeth develop. So, again, once the dental lamina is formed, there will be tooth buds. So, this circle shape you see on the dental lamina, we call it the tooth buds, and this is the tooth buds for the developing primary tooth. So since we have 10 primary tooth per arc, you would also see 10 tooth buds. So count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have 10 tooth buds on a dental lamina representing the developing primary tooth. I think there's a question in the quiz na asking how many primary tooth in a quadrant. So meaning you divide it into 4, you have 5 primary tooth in a quadrant. If we're talking about an arc, okay, so yung arc nga is maxillary or mandibular, we have 10 primary tooth in an arc. Next stage is a cap stage. So the cap stage is also known as proliferation, reproduction, or multiplication, in which the cells of the tooth grow and the tooth bud takes a hollowed cap-like shape. So kaya tinawag siyang cap stage because the tooth bud developed and it has this cap-like shape. Together, the animal organ, the dental papilla, and the dental follicle is considered a developing tooth germ. So in short, sa cap stage, nagdevelop yung tooth bud into tooth germ. And thus, you would see the future hard tissues of the tooth. So, di ba, we have the enamel, the dentine, and the cementum. Okay, so this would be the enamel organ. It will form the enamel, the future enamel. The dental papilla would form the future dentine, and the dental follicle, it will form the future cementum as well as supporting structures like periodontal ligament. The epithelium of the cap will give rise to the enamel, while the zone under the cap is called the dental papilla. So, ayun nga siya, si dental papilla. Okay? So, kung kanina sa bud stage, there is just like a circular area. Kumbaga, para kang nagpunla, na nag-seed out on the dental lamina. Okay? Nag-improve yung seeds on the cap stage wherein nagkaroon siya ng different parts. So, you have the tooth bud turning into a tooth germ. That tooth germ has parts. So, the parts is the enamel organ, the dental papilla, and the dental follicle. Okay. Next stage is the Bell stage. The Bell stage is also known as histodifferentiation. So, obviously, kapag histodifferentiation, there is appearance of cells forming organs. So, it is here that the ameloblast cells will form the enamel, odontoblast cells will form the dentine, and the cementoblast cells form the cementum. So, in short, nagkaroon nga ng histodifferentiation wherein the cells will form, including the enamel and dentine, develop during the next stage of tooth development. This stage is called the crown or maturation stage. So, the crown stage specifically means that the crown formation is completed. So, kung mapapansin nyo sa tooth development, diba, we have two parts of the tooth. We have the crown and the root area. Normally, yung crown is what we see, and the root, this is covered by the gingiva. Okay, so on tooth development, the first to develop is the crown. And once the crown is completed, it actually is ready for eruption. So, ma'am, bakit ganun? So, ibig sabihin, putol yung ipin upon eruption. So, technically, parang ganun because while the tooth is erupting, the root is just starting to develop. Okay? So the crown stage means that the enamel and dentine has already completed development. Wherein yung kanina nga sa Bell stage, di ba? Sa Bell stage is yung cells like ameloblast and odontoblast are starting to form the disc structures. So in short, sa crown stage, tapos na yung function of the ameloblast and the odontoblast because the enamel and dentine, which is the parts of the crown, is already completed. Okay, so again, a review of the different tooth stages. Again, we have the bud stage. The bud stage, this is where different tooth buds develop on a dental lamina. How many tooth buds develop in a dental lamina? Is it 5 tooth buds, 10, 16, or 20? So, ayun, we have 10 tooth buds. It represents the 10 primary tooth that develop on each arc. Okay. Next is the cap stage. Again, the cap stage, this is where you see a part, okay? The tooth bud will develop to become a tooth germ and you would see part of a tooth germ. So sabi nga, there would be an enamel organ, okay, which is the pink part, and there would be a dental papilla. The dental papilla, it will soon become the dentine, while the enamel organ obviously will soon become the enamel. Once it reached the Bell stage is where histodifferentiation happened, wherein the cells forming organ would be there, like ameloblast, it will form the enamel, odontoblast will form the dentine, and cementoblast will form the cementum. So because of that, mas makikita mo na yung different parts of the tooth, specifically the crown. Okay? Once everything is finished, then there will be the crown stage. Okay? So this crown stage, again, this means the completion of the crown. Okay? So ito lang yon, crown lang. So yung root, technically, hindi pa siya ganyan. Kita. Okay? So this is just a timeline showing the development or the stages of odontogenesis. So sabi nga, it normally starts 6 weeks gestation. When we say gestation, it means in utero. It means while your mother is pregnant, okay? So the baby is developing its organ in utero. Okay, bud stage around 8 to 9 weeks, cap stage 9 to 10 weeks, bell stage 11 to 12 weeks, and finally, yung dentine formation, this is the crown formation. Okay? Next is calcification. Of course, once the crown is completed, it needs to be further mature. So how will it mature? It needs to be calcified. Okay, so calcification is the process by which organic tissues, the matrix formed during apposition, becomes hardened by a deposit of calcium or any mineral salt. So, syempre, di ba, when you say calcification, it's like hardening of a structure. So in this case, it's a tooth structure. And the easiest way to harden a structure is to add calcium or calcium salt. This is in the form of hydroxyapatite crystals. Okay, so again, ayan. Hydroxy, ang pangit ng spelling ko, A, P, P-A-P-I-P-E. Okay, so again, hydroxyapatite crystals, this is also called as the calcium salt. So the calcification, this will take a long time. Like for example, for the primary teeth, okay, it will like months pa siya bago ma-complete yung calcification. Okay? And then once calcification of complete, then the tooth is ready for eruption. Okay? So what is eruption? It is the process, and after the crown of the tooth has formed, the root will begin to develop, and now the tooth begins to erupt, which is a movement of the tooth into its proper position in the mouth, wherein the tooth, it will be seen erupting or going on the occlusal plane. So ano yung occlusal plane? Yung area where the teeth, we could see the crown of the teeth. Okay, so this is a sample. This is actually a primary molar, and this is a permanent premolar. Okay, so normally, ang nagpa-first na develop is the primary tooth. But there's a schedule for eruption of each tooth. So like on this one, this is the schedule of the eruption of the permanent premolar. So what is happening is once the crown is completed, as you can see, it's starting to erupt on the occlusal plane. Okay? And while it is moving upwards, going on the occlusal plane, you would see na nagkakaroon din ng root development. Okay? But, kita nyo naman na yung root development, this is continuous until the tooth is fully erupted. Okay? So ma'am, anong nangyayari dun sa sa primary tooth? Like the primary molars, it will undergo exfoliation. Exfoliation is when primary teeth get ready to fall out and make way for the eruption of the permanent teeth. They go through the process of exfoliation or what we call shedding. So like on the animation, this is, bakit parang mali yung picture? Ayan. This is a molar and it is to be replaced by the permanent premolar. Okay? So, in short, nagsa-start na magkaroon ng resorption or shredding of the primary molar, starting from the root until it will reach the crown area. So, di ba, when you have niece or nephews or may mga baby sisters and baby brothers, you would see na umuuga na yung ngipin nila. Their tooth starts wiggling. Okay, this is because the permanent tooth is starting to erupt, starting to move upwards to the occlusal plane. Thus, nagkakaroon ng exfoliation, kaya umuuga na siya kasi wala na siyang kapit. Okay? Next. Ayaw mag-move. Okay, so again, this is just a summary of odontogenesis. Again, when we say odontogenesis, it means tooth development. It starts with the development of the dental lamina. So next would be the cap stage. The cap stage, magkakaroon na ng different different parts yung tooth bud, and it will now be called tooth germ. Okay, so yung tooth germ, it has parts, which is the dental papilla and the dental organ. After which, letter C is the Bell stage. Kung napapansin nyo, lumaki na siya. Okay, because dito na nagkakaroon ng histodifferentiation. We say histodifferentiation, the different cells will develop a specific tooth tissue, like the ameloblast will form the enamel, odontoblast will form the dentine, cementoblast will form the cementum. Okay. Letter D. So once the crown is completed, it will undergo calcification. Letter E. Ayan, magsa-start. This is the occlusal plane. The crown will start moving on the occlusal plane, the process called eruption. And if there is deciduous dentition, okay, it will undergo resorption, or what we call exfoliation. Okay. Question. Does permanent tooth undergo exfoliation? Again, does a permanent tooth undergo exfoliation? Yes or no? Siyempre no, kasi they are permanent. No teeth would replace them. So, wala na mag-erupt after them. Okay? So, again, only the primary tooth will undergo exfoliation. Next is the chronologies of human dentition. This talks about schedule. Ito yung nabobore ako sa part na to kasi this is more on memorization. You really have to memorize the age of eruption. Okay? So, let's start with the calcification. So, syempre, kailangan muna magkaroon ng crown completion and then calcification, after which would be eruption. Okay, so this is the calcification schedule of the primary teeth. So you would see yung calcification, initial calcification starts at 14 weeks. Ano ba yan? Bakit doon nagsusulat? Ito na naman tayo sa mouse ko eh. Okay, nagsa-start in 14 weeks. Okay, but the crown will be completed at around 1.5 months. Root completion around 1.5 years. So, sobrang tagal, okay? Hindi siya basta sandali lang. Like ito, 14 weeks, but then it would end up 1.5 months completion. Okay, ma'am, do we need to memorize this? No. Ang papa-memorize ko lang sa inyo is the age of eruption. Okay, so what is just said here is primary tooth crown formation. It takes some 2 to 3 years for initial calcification to root completion. Okay, so 2 years yung process na calcification until the proper tooth development completion, which is root completed, 2 to 3 years siya. Okay, so let's talk about the eruption of primary teeth. So this slides and the following slides will show you how the different tooth erupt. Okay, so this is yung line dito. This is your occlusal plane. Okay, so this is where suppose the tooth will erupt. Okay, 5 months in utero, you would see that the crown is starting to develop. Actually, halos patapos na siya. Okay, you would see this is the central maxillary incisors. Okay, and this is the mandibular incisors. The canines and molars, okay, very little pa yung kita ng mga crown. So, nandun pa sila sa crown development. But in 5 months in utero, at least, yung mga incisors, both maxillary and mandibular, halos crown completion na. By 7 months in utero, again, when you say in utero, you are still on your mommy's womb, okay? You would see na, ayan, mas kompleto na, mas in shape na yung mga mandibular incisors, okay? And you would also see some tooth development, ayan, para sumalaki na, okay? At birth, okay, once you are given birth by your parents, by your mom, ayan, you would also see na crown completed na yung mga incisor, they are on their own shape na. Kasi dito kung titignan mo, 5 months in utero, mukha siyang molar. Hindi siya mukhang incisor. But at birth, at least, it actually have formed the shape of a proper maxillary incisor and mandibular incisor. But for the canines and molars, hindi pa. Parang hindi pa siya ganung, hindi pa kita yung cusp, di ba? Halos wala pa. Wala pang occlusal form. Okay? By 6 months of age, Okay, so bakit may plus minus 2? Kasi normally it comes in range. Yung tooth eruption, it's 6 to 8 months. Ayan, ganun siya, okay? By 6 months, you would see that the mandibular incisors are starting to erupt as well as the maxillary incisors. Nandun na siya sa occlusal plane. Okay? Kaya nga by 6 months, nagkakaroon na ng ipin yung mga babies. So, ayan, mineralization of the permanent dentition is entirely also postnatal, pero this is more of the primary teeth. Okay, next, by 9 months, okay, you would see na the eruption also of the maxillary lateral incisor. So again, it's plus minus 2 months. It's an approximate range, okay? By 1 year of age, there will be also eruption of the mandibular first molar. This is still primary tooth, okay? By 18 months, there will be another eruption, this time of the maxillary first molar. So 18 months of age, that's around 1.5 year old. Okay. The baby should have maxillary incisors, mandibular incisors, and maxillary and mandibular first molar. Okay. Next. Ito pa yun. Oo. By 2 years of age, halos complete na yung dentition of the baby because the canines are also there. The second molars, though partially erupted pa lang yung lower and also the upper. Okay? Pero by 2 years old, dapat okay na rin yung canines nila. Okay, note that the maxillary second molar is the last primary tooth to emerge around 29 months of age. So, the first tooth to erupt is the mandibular central incisor, that's around 6 months of age, and the last tooth to erupt is the maxillary second molar, and that's around 29 months of age, so around 2.5 years old yung baby. Next, by 3 years old, supposed to be kumpleto na yung primary teeth. Okay, so what you are seeing, yung mga yellow, this is the permanent dentition. And you would see na, ay, halos may mga crown na completed. Like the first molar, the permanent first molar, the crown is already completed. Ayan na nga, oh, may parang root area na. Okay? By 4 years of age, you would also see that the incisors are crown completed, maxillary, and even mandibular. Okay, along with, of course, the maxillary and mandibular permanent first molars. Root formation is complete for all primary teeth by 3 and 1/4 years of age. So that's 39 months of age. Thus, eruption is now complete. So, kung sinabi kanina na like 30 months, okay, na that is the eruption of the the last primary tooth, which is the maxillary second molar. The root completion is around 39 months of age. That's 3 and 1/4 years. So dun pa lang makakonsider na eruption of all primary tooth is complete. So in short, by 3 years old, the deciduous dentition is complete. Kompleto na. The patient or the baby should have 20 primary teeth, 10 on the upper and 10 on the lower. Okay, this is a picture. So again, by 3 years, 4 years, and 5 years, okay, dapat very functional lahat ng primary tooth. Okay, we are hoping that at least it would last for 3 years. Kaso kasi 'di ba, ang daming mga pedia patients na have their tooth extracted because of caries. Kasi like on those age, they are still nursing. They still like milk and most has this nursing bottle caries. Dahil nga sa pag-inom ng milk, the milk debris would stay on the teeth and that is a type of sugar, okay, that would cause cavities. Okay, by 6 years of age, okay, this is the start of the eruption of the permanent teeth. So you would see that the first permanent tooth to erupt are the first molars, okay, the maxillary and mandibular first molars. Okay, but let's more talk about the eruption of primary teeth. So the sequence of eruption of permanent primary teeth includes first the eruption of the central incisor, followed by the lateral incisor, followed by the first molar, canine, and second molar. Okay? Technically, this is the eruption. So again, ginamit yung letters to represent the different primary tooth. So it's like the segment system. A is the central incisor, B lateral, C canine, D first molar, and E is the second molar. So again, the first primary tooth to erupt is the primary mandibular central incisor, normally at 6 months of age. Okay, this will be followed by the eruption of the maxillary central incisor and then maxillary lateral incisor, followed by mandibular lateral incisor. Okay? After that, there will be eruption of the maxillary first molar, followed by eruption of the mandibular first molar, and then we have maxillary canine, mandibular canine, maxillary and mandibular second molar, and last to develop is the maxillary second molar, which is approximate around 2.5 years of age. So, sabi nga, 30 months old. Okay? Pero this is factual, okay? Pero, ma'am, lagi bang ganyan yung nangyayari? Technically, hindi. Like my daughter, the first tooth to erupt for her is the maxillary central incisor. Okay? So, ito, kumbaga, this was based on statistics, but sometimes, hindi naman nasusunod yung sequence. Okay, this is what is written on the book, okay, sa ebook. So again, you just have to memorize the eruption age. The problem lang dun sa ebook, naka-mean siya. Okay, so parang isang number lang. Okay, this is written in months. But again, the eruption should always be on range, okay, like on the other slide. So this is what you will memorize for the eruption age for the primary tooth. Okay, so again, the first to erupt is the central incisor, mandibular central incisor, that's 6 to 10 months, followed by the maxillary central incisors, that's 8 to 12 months, followed by the maxillary lateral incisor, 9 to 13 months, and then the lateral incisor, 10 to 16 months. Okay? So, kaya nga sa first birthday ng baby, meron na siyang 4 incisors, 2 on the upper and 2 on the lower. Okay? After the incisors, it is the eruption of the first molar. The first to erupt is the maxillary first molar, 13 to 9 months, 19 months, followed by eruption of the mandibular first molar around 14 to 18 months. Okay? Next, it will be followed by the development of canine. So we have the maxillary canine at 16 to 22 months, followed by eruption of mandibular canine 17 to 23 months. So this is almost 2 years old. So in short, by 2 years old, meron na siyang mga cuspids. Nadagdagan na yung ipin ng baby. So may incisors na siya, may first molars, and even canines. Normally, sasabihin ng parents, kompleto na yung ngipin. But we have to remember they have 10 tooth per arc. My second molar, it normally erupts around 2.5 years of age. So the first to develop is the second molar around 23 to 31 months mandibular, and then the last to erupt is the maxillary second molar around 25 to 33 months. Again, you have to memorize this age of eruption. Okay? So there is a time what we call transition or mixed dentition. So transition or mixed dentition is a stage wherein mix yung dentition. So meaning what is seen on the dental arc is a combination of primary teeth, yung color blue, and permanent tooth. So kailan nangyayari yon? At the age of 6. Okay? It normally starts at the age of 6 kasi by 6 years old, there will be an eruption of the permanent first molar. So considered na siya as mixed dentition kasi you have a mix of primary tooth and permanent tooth on the dental. The permanent mandibular first molar. Am I back? I think I am. Are you there? Okay. Biglang nawala. Okay. So anyway, sa transition stage or mixed dentition stage, this happened at the age of 6 to 12 years of age. Okay? So again, it starts with the eruption of the permanent mandibular first molar and ends when there is the loss of the last primary tooth, which is maxillary canine, at the age of 11 to 12. Okay? So pagdating ng 12 years old, lahat na ng tooth mo on the dental arc are considered permanent dentition or permanent teeth. So, kaya nga sinasabi na when you are 12 years old, or di ba, pagdating ng 13, that's considered the teen years. Okay? So, teenager ka na. Kasi big boy ka na talaga or big girl because you all have permanent teeth. Okay? Yan, may mga araw pa pala. Okay, next. So note that the permanent first molars are guided by an emerged distal or posterior to the primary second molar. So again, remember that the permanent molars, okay, so ito nga, it starts with the permanent first first molars are considered non-succedaneous tooth. So when we say non-succedaneous, it doesn't replace any primary tooth. So it normally erupts distal to the last primary tooth, which is the primary second molar. Okay? So I think there's another question on the quiz. Ang linagay ko is primary molars. Na primary molars is considered non-succedaneous tooth. Okay? It's false kasi it's the permanent molars. That's the non-succedaneous tooth. Okay? We can yung classification of if it's succedaneous or non-succedaneous is only on permanent tooth, not primary tooth. Wala namang pinapalitan ng primary tooth. Okay? The permanent teeth do not begin their eruptive movements until after the crown is completed. So, na-discuss ko na rin. Obviously, not until nag-undergo ng crown completion and calcification, it will not start the eruption process. Okay, so when you reach, I think, 4th year or 5th year, you will have a subject, pediatric dentistry and also orthodontics, wherein your professors or your clinical instructor will just show you x-rays of a patient, and then you have to estimate the age of the patient based on the x-ray. So, ma'am, pwede ba yun? Pwede naman yun kasi if you remember, there is a schedule of eruption. So, very definite yon na si maxillary central incisor erupts at 8 years old, mandibular central incisor develop at 6 years old of age. Okay? So ito, on this picture, you would see a lot of tooth. Okay? So, merong mga developing tooth crown pa lang, merong nasa eruption. So, you just have to identify ano yung permanent dentition, ano yung primary tooth. Okay? So, on this picture, it said it's 7 years of age. So, chinek lang nila, meron na bang permanent incisors. So, in this picture, you would see na, oo, permanent na yung mga incisors kasi wala nang developing crown dito, unlike the other two. Okay? You would also see permanent maxillary incisors. Okay? Pero, yung mga canines, molars, mga primary pa siya. Okay? Pero you would also see na, ay, malaki na yung molar. So, this is a permanent molars. Okay? So, you will identify na, o nga, 7 years of age na yung patient. Okay? Ma'am, may ganito ba sa oral anatomy quiz? Siyempre wala, kasi advanced na yung mga ganito. Pero darating kayo sa gantong point na you will just have to analyze the x-rays. So this is how mixed dentition analysis happens. So again, it starts at 6 years of age at the eruption of the permanent first molar. It normally ends at 12 years of age upon the loss of the last primary tooth, which is canines. Okay, so permanent dentition, ayan. Calcification schedule for permanent dentition. So, birth to 1 year. So, it's the first molar, central incisor, canine, and lateral. Di ba nga merong discussion kanina na the calcification of permanent tooth, it normally occur postnatally. Okay, so meaning upon birth na siya. Okay, kasi calcification of primary teeth, it's pre-birth or prenatally. Okay, so ito, it's postnatal. Birth to 1 year, first molar, central incisor, canine, and lateral incisor. For 2 to 4 years, the premolars, both the first premolar and second premolar. Second molar is also 2 to 4 years. And 9 years of age pa yung third molar. So, bakit ganun? Kasi normally, the third molars, it will erupt later in life. So, mga nasa 18 to 25 years old ang eruption ng third molar. Ay, sorry, na-increase ko. Kaya, yung calcification schedule niya, 9 years of age din. Ma'am, nararamdaman ba ang calcification? Hindi siya masakit kasi the calcification happens sa, not on the occlusal plane. Okay? So, this is the eruption age of the permanent tooth. So, ito yung mga kakabesaduhin nyo, eruption age lang. Okay? So, for the upper central incisor or maxillary central incisor, it's around 7 to 8 years old. The first to erupt pala is the maxillary and mandibular first molar. That's 6 to 7 years old along with the mandibular central incisor. Kaya nga, very grumpy ang mga 6 years old kids kasi they have a lot of tooth erupting. The maxillary and mandibular first molar as well as the mandibular central incisor. It will be followed by the development of the maxillary central incisors that's 7 to 8 years old with the mandibular lateral incisor. Okay, next it will be followed by eruption of the maxillary lateral incisor at around 8 to 9 years old. Okay, followed by formation of the premolar. So, as you can see, canine yung mauuna yung premolars and then it will be followed by canine. The maxillary premolars around 10 to 11 and 10 to 12 years old. Okay, so, ma'am, bakit nahuhuli yung canine? Again, because they have the longest root. Okay, tapos, the problem with this, since nauuna nga yung eruption of the permanent premolars, sometimes there is no space available for the permanent canine to erupt. Kaya madaming mal-aligned ang permanent canines. So, meaning, mga sungke, di ba, you would see madaming Pinoys na yung canines nila, it will erupt labially, okay, nakasungki siya, or even lingually, or minsan nasa palatal area. That is because nauunang mag-erupt yung mga premolars, thus the space that is supposed to be for the canine is eaten up. So, wala na siyang space on the dental arc. Okay? So, ganun din on the mandibular. Okay? So, nasa na yung mouse ko. Okay? Ganun din sa mandibular. Okay? Sa mandibular, nauuna ang canines and then followed by the first and second premolars. After which will be the eruption of the second molar. So, 12 to 13 years old for the second molar and then 11 to 13 for the lower. Okay? And then sabi ko nga sa inyo, third molar will be the last, 17 to 21. Actually, ngayon, umaabot na ng, may mga patient ako na erupting pa yung third molars by 30 years old. Okay? So again, you have to memorize that. Okay? Ako yung palatandaan ko yon, yung first, second, tsaka third molar. Yung first molar, 6 years of age. I-times 2 mo yon to form eruption ng second molar, 12 years of age. I-times 3 mo yung 6, eruption naman ng third molar. So, parang ito yung mean. Lalagyan ko na lang siya ng range, di ba? Yan, 11 to 13, 17 to 21, 6 to 7. So, nandun sa range na, kumbaga ito yung mean. Then, yung range nandyan na. Okay, so when talking about the sequence of eruption of permanent tooth for the maxillary, this is the maxillary, yung nasa taas. Sa 6, this is the first molar, 1, central incisor, 2 lateral, and then sabi ko nga mauna yung dalawang premolar. So first premolar 4, second premolar 5, followed by canine 3, second molar 7, 8 is molar. For the lower, sunod-sunod lang. Pero nauna yung 6 because 6 is the first molar and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8. Okay? So, normally, feeling natin tapos na yung eruption age by 12 years old. Okay? Kaya nga sinasabi na, okay, teenager ka na, kumpleto na yung ipin mo by when you reach 13 years old. Kasi yung third molars or the wisdom tooth, sobrang tagal pa niya tumubo. So, yun nga, 17 to 21. Paantanda ko nga doon, 18 to 25 eh. Okay? Kaya pa ba? I hope so. Alam pa, ilang slide pa? 35 of 66. Nasa gitna na tayo. Next is the general considerations in the physiology of permanent dentition. So the form and function. The relationship between form of teeth and function is discussed in terms of type of food in the diet of humans, jaw movements, protection of periodontium, and stimulation of gingiva. So in short, the form of the teeth, it differs on its function. Like for human, di ba, our teeth, the incisors have incisal edges, our posterior had occlusal surface because it will work its function. Na yung incisor is for cutting of food, the posterior is for chewing of food, kaya may occlusal surface. So the dogs, the other animals, monkeys, crocodiles, they also have different forms of food, tooth, kasi they also have different types of food that they are eating, and we have different jaw movements as well. Okay? The three major functions of human tooth includes mastication. When we say mastication, this is the chewing of food. Next is aesthetics. Of course, a complete set of tooth, it will add aesthetics. Okay? So, syempre, kung wala kang ipin, di ba, depress yung mukha mo, hindi ka masyadong maganda. Iba yung may ngipin ka. Lastly is phonetics. So, tooth actually add on phonetics. Okay? Na the anterior tooth, it will give you a clear pronunciation of S sound, F sound, CH sound. Okay, so once you have denture patients, diba? When you have your denture patient and you have to do trial fitting, you ask your patient to count from 61 to 69, 61, 62, 63, 64, or 51 to 59. Okay, kaso kasi sa Filipinos, it's very hard for them to say 51, 52 kasi tayo nga, meron tayong accent na yung F nagiging P na. 51, 52, 53. So, we normally ask na lang na mga S sound. Okay? Kasi this helps on checking if we have a proper setting of tooth, kung tama ba yung occlusion ng patient. Kasi if not, there will be a problem of phonetics na yung 61 nagiging 61, 62. Okay? Naalala ko yan, may patient. I was a clinical instructor in CEU Makati, and then merong student, intern, okay, na I was supervising. And syempre, I will ask his or her patient na, manang pakisabi nga po yung 61, 62, and the patient keeps saying 61, 62. And then syempre, sabihin ko dun sa estudyante, ayusin mo, may problem sa speech, ibig sabihin may problem sa setting of the tooth. Okay? Hindi tama yung occlusion. Di tama yung ayos ng ipin mo. Okay? So, siguro nakatatlong balik na ako, hindi pa rin maayos. And then, the patient, siguro, pagod na siya. And she told me na, Doktora, hayaan mo na, hindi naman ako madalas magsabi ng 61, 62 sa totoong buhay. So, natawa ako kasi hindi naman po ganun. Kasi may mga words that start with letter S, okay? And we have to correct that, or else lagi kang may laway while you are talking. So, you will understand that when you reach, fourth year, wherein you have to fabricate dentures for your patients. Ayan, pag-aaralan nyo yan. Okay? So, when it comes to function, it's very important that you have an ideal occlusion. Okay, so first, ano ba yung occlusion? Occlusion is the anatomic alignment of teeth and their relationship to the rest of the masticatory system. Technically, okay, or in simple terms, occlusion refers to the alignment of teeth. It's the way the upper and the lower teeth fit together, or every time you bite, that's considered occlusion. Okay? Ideal occlusion is the relationship existing when all the teeth are perfectly placed in the arches of jaw and have a normal anatomic relationship to each other. When the teeth are brought into contact, a cusp to fossa relationship is considered the most perfect anatomic relationship that can be attained. So, if you remember the discussion last time, when we say cusp, it's the rounded elevations you normally see on posterior teeth. Okay, specifically sa molars. Okay, the fossa is the depression you could see on the occlusal surface. Normally, it's found on the central of the occlusal surface. Di ba? May central fossa. So technically, if you have your permanent tooth, okay, may makikita kang, or if you have ideal occlusion, ang pangit, sorry, mouse lang gamit ko, okay. So this is a molar, ang pangit ng drawing ko. This is a maxillary molar, okay. This is we have two cusps. Okay, one you see on the buccal and one you see on the lingual. Okay, so again, buccal, the one facing the cheeks, and lingual, the one facing the palate or the tongue. So since maxillary to, this is the one facing the palate. So this cusp should coincide with the fossa of the lower posterior. So kaya nga, when you have ideal occlusion, kailangan perfect yung cusp to fossa relationship. Okay? So, this is a picture of the ideal or ideal occlusion. Okay, so again, the upper teeth should be slightly forward as compared to the lower teeth. Kumbaga naka-overlap yung upper teeth to the lower teeth. Okay, so ganun din on the posterior, you have to reach the cusp to fossa relationship. Okay, para good yung smile mo, then you have ideal occlusion. Perfect smile in short. Okay. Also, a way to check if the patient has ideal occlusion is check for the bite of the maxillary and mandibular first molar as well as the bite of the maxillary and mandibular canines. Okay? So, meron tayong tinatawag na class 1 malocclusion. Ma'am, di ba when you say malocclusion, malalignment, si Edward Angle kasi, he developed types of malocclusion. Pero class 1 is actually considered ideal occlusion. Okay, so again, you just have to check the molar and the canine relationship. For the molar, the mesobuccal cusp of the maxillary first molar occludes with the mesobuccal groove of the mandibular first molar. Again, when we say occludes, it meets. Okay. Okay, so again, mesobuccal cusp of the maxillary first molar. This is your first molar. It has two buccal cusps. Okay, so this is named according to location. The one near the midline we call the mesobuccal cusp. The one away from the midline, we call it the distobuccal cusp. Okay, so it is said that this mesobuccal cusp, it should occlude with the mesobuccal groove of the mandibular first molar. So again, ano yung groove? Is it a depression or an inclination? Again, when we say groove, is it a depression or an inclination? May nakikinig pa ba sa akin? Walang sumasagot. Ayan. So, it is a depression. Okay? So, on the mandibular, you would see there is a line. Okay? It's a depression. We call it the mesobuccal groove. Okay? So, again, this mesobuccal cusp of the maxillary first molar should occlude or meet with the mesobuccal groove of the mandibular first molar. Okay? For the canines, the maxillary canine occludes with the distal cusp ridge of the mandibular canine and the mesobuccal cusp ridge of the mandibular first premolar. Okay, so this is the maxillary canine. Okay, so yung maxillary canine, yung mesial cusp ridge niya, okay, one of the cusp ridge, it occludes with the distal cusp ridge of the mandibular canine, and the other cusp ridge, this occludes with the mesobuccal cusp of the mandibular first premolar. So in short, the maxillary canine should be in between the mandibular canine and the mandibular first premolar. Okay, so yun yung ideal occlusion. I-check mo yung relationship ng canines and first molars. Okay, so you would probably, after the discussion, i-check nyo yan pag nag-bite kayo ng ideal ba yung akin. Okay, some have an ideal occlusion, especially if nang undergo ng orthodontic treatment. Some hindi. Okay, so what is malocclusion? Malocclusion is a misalignment of teeth or incorrect relation between the teeth of two dental arches. So kasi kung may ideal occlusion, of course, merong malocclusion, meaning may mali sa occlusion. There is misalignment of teeth. So every time you bite, hindi nag-occlude together, hindi nagmi-meet together yung upper and lower teeth. Like on this picture, hindi nag-meet yung upper anteriors with the lower anteriors. There is a space in between. Okay, so this is a sample of malocclusion. Another picture, ito, again, sabi ko kanina na supposed to be there is an overlap of the maxillary anteriors as compared to the lower anteriors. Okay, on this picture, you would see na meron ding malalignment. Okay, another picture, ito naman, hindi nagkaroon ng proper meeting of the maxillary and mandibular posterior. There is no cusp to fossa relationship. So, again, under angles classification, we have class 1, class 2, and class 3 malocclusion. Class 1 is the normal occlusion. This is where the upper teeth is slightly in front of the lower teeth, or there is an overlap of the upper teeth with the lower teeth. Okay, it has the proper class 1 occlusion for canines and first molars. Class 2 malocclusion, the upper teeth is too far in front of the lower teeth. So you would see na very far yung overlap na nangyari. Okay, very too forward yung maxillary teeth as compared to the lower teeth. You will see this on celebrities like Kakay Bautista. Ayan, very upfront yung upper teeth. Okay, the class 3 malocclusion is the opposite, wherein the lower teeth that is too far up front as compared to the upper teeth. Normally, this class 3 malocclusion, yung mga may long mandible or mahaba baba. So this includes idalas alas, ayan. Another picture, so this is considered class 2 malocclusion. You would see the anterior teeth, it's too far forward as compared to the mandibular teeth. Okay, this is another picture, class 3 malocclusion. The lower teeth or mandibular teeth, it's too far forward as compared to the maxillary teeth. Normally, all of this could be correct through orthodontic treatment. Normally, itong class 2, this is a problem on Filipinos. Madami sa atin ganyan. So, treatment for ortho, we remove premolars, maxillary first premolars para pwede nating move backward yung anterior teeth. Okay? And then the class 3 malocclusion, we could also treat this with orthodontic treatment or braces, but sometimes we have to do surgery, okay, for in order to produce a straight profile. Okay? Next is an interproximal form. So interproximal form is the interproximal space between the teeth is a triangular region normally filled with gingival tissue. It is bounded by two proximal surface of the contacting tooth and the alveolar bone between the teeth. It's also called interdental papilla. Okay, so diba, there is a space in between teeth. We call it the proximal surface. On the proximal surface, there will be a triangular area that is filled with gingiva. Okay, mapapansin nyo yan na each tooth, there is a triangular area filled with gingiva that is found on the proximal surface. Again, we call it the interdental papilla. Okay? Next, a cervical line and a gingival line. Okay, so there is a difference between the two. A cervical line is an anatomical designation for the cemento-enamel junction. Na-discuss ko na to last meeting, dividing the crown and the root. So on this picture, this is a cervical line. You will know it's a cervical line kasi it separates the crown and the root. You would know it's a crown kasi it's much whiter as compared sa root na yellowish. Okay? Gingival line, on the other hand, is an imaginary line determined by the level which the gingiva extends on the tooth. Okay, so the gingival line is this one. Okay, where the gingiva covers the tooth. Supposed to be the cervical line and gingival line coincides with one another. Dapat kasi yung root is covered by the gingiva. So this is a sample of a normal cervical line and gingival line. Okay, they should be on the same area. Okay, but if the patient has periodontal disease or gingivitis, ano nangyayari? Nagkakaroon ng gingival recession wherein the gums, okay, it will move, okay, and nagkakaroon ng exposure of the root. Okay, so on this case, this is the cervical line. Okay, it still separates the crown and the root, but the gingival line nag-recede siya. Okay, it covers on this part na sa middle third na. Okay? So again, another picture that shows the cervical and the gingival line together. Ito obviously nag-recede yung gums, bumaba yung gums. So you would see part of the root is exposed, okay, because bumaba nga yung gum. So this is the cervical line, this is the gingival line. Next is comparative dental anatomy. Again, as I've said, different mammals or animals have different forms of teeth because it depends on the function of the teeth. Okay, so let's start with, ayaw mag-move. The reptilian stage. Reptilian stage is also called haplodont. So this stage is represented by the simplest form of teeth wherein the tooth appears like a single cone. Parang mga ice cream cone lang siya. Okay? Normally, you see it in crocodiles and alligators. Okay? Usually, this includes many teeth as well on both arc. Okay? So, on the upper arc, maxillary arc, and mandibular arc, sobrang daming ipin. Okay? And there is no occlusion of the teeth, meaning the upper and the lower teeth, they don't meet. Okay? So this is normally seen on animals like this. So yung movement lang kasi ng jaw nila is closing and opening. Okay? Next. Next is the early mammalian stage or triconodon. So this type of tooth development is seen with three cusp stage. Okay, the posterior teeth, it exhibits three cusp in line with the development of posterior teeth. The largest cusp, this is centered with the smaller cusp located anteriorly and posteriorly. So you would see that the posterior teeth, it has three cusps. The middle cusp is the largest, and then there are two small cusps. Okay, so one anteriorly or one found on the mesial and one found on the distal. Okay, so normally this is seen on animals like dogs and other carnivores. Okay, they need it because yun nga, they are carnivores, so they eat meat. They need the cusp in order to properly chew the food. Next is the triangular stage or the tritubercular molar. So there is a triangular form, and this time the tooth finally occluded. Okay, so you would see actually parang may mga cusp na siya, pero yung difference niya with the other stages is the upper and lower tooth, they will be in occlusion. So next is the quadritubercular molar. So the next stage created projections of a triangular form. This is the closest shape of a human arc. So you would see a horseshoe arc, okay? And then some tooth, the posterior tooth will also have occlusal surface, and the anterior tooth will have incisal surface. Okay? So we call it quadritubercular. Normally, this is seen on chipmunks, on chipmunks, on monkeys. Okay, bakit chipmunks yung nasabi ko? On monkeys. So, kaya nga sinasabi na the monkeys, it closely resemble humans kasi even the tooth, we have actually the same set of tooth. Next, the jaw movement. So for humans, we have a gangliomo-arthrodial joint. So it has two joints. Okay, so first is a gangliomo. Gangliomo means hinge joint. So it's like a door. Okay, diba? Our door has hinge, so we can open and close it. And it also has arthrodial joint. So arthrodial means gliding or translation. So meaning you can open and close your mouth using your jaw. Okay, through the hinge joint to the gangliomo joint, and we could also move it sideways. We can move it left or right, or even slide it downwards, because the jaw or the TMJ has an arthrodial joint, which is used for gliding or translation. Okay, so again, this is the hinge joint because we can open and close our mouth. And this is our arthrodial joint kasi yun nga, we can move it further or we can move it sideways. Diba? You can move your jaw on the left or on the right. Last topic is the geometric concept of crown outline. So in general way, all aspect of each tooth crown except the incisal or occlusal aspect can be outlined schematically in three geometric figures. We have triangle, trapezoid, and rhomboid. First is the triangle. This is normally seen on anterior teeth, so the incisors and canine of maxillary and mandibular teeth, specifically the mesial and distal aspect. So if you would look on the mesial and distal surface of your incisors and canines, okay, you would see that it is triangular in form, wherein the base is of the triangle is on the cervical region and the apex is on the incisal ridge. Okay? So why is it needed that the mesial and distal surface is in triangular form? So we need a wide base for strength and a tapered outline on the mesial, on the lingual, and on the labial to facilitate penetration of food. If you remember, the incisors and canine is used for cutting of food. So we need a wide base on the mesial and distal for strength, and we need the tapering form going to the incisal for a proper penetration of food or proper cutting of food. Next is trapezoidal in shape. So trapezoidal shape is seen on the facial and lingual aspect of all teeth. So facial aspect means the buccal and the labial aspect of the tooth. Okay, and the lingual aspect of all teeth. So again, all of this has trapezoid in shape, meaning it has an even side. So there is the shortest uneven side is on the cervical area, and the longest uneven side is on the incisal or the occlusal aspect. Okay? So when you look at the tooth on the facial surface, again, facial surface means labial and buccal, you would see that they have this trapezoidal in form. Again, the shortest uneven side is on the cervical, the longer uneven side is on the occlusal or on the incisal surface. Okay. Also, the trapezoid in form can also be seen on the proximal outline of maxillary posterior teeth. So meaning on the mesial and distal surface of the maxillary posterior. So posterior includes premolars and molars. Okay. So ito naman, it's different kasi the largest uneven side is on the cervical region, while the shortest uneven side is on the occlusal surface. Kabaliktaran kanina nung facial and lingual. Okay? So why do we need a trapezoidal form on these surfaces? So the tooth can be forced into food material more easily, specifically sa posterior kasi we use it for chewing of food. Wide base for crown support and facilitate self-cleansing process of the teeth. So yung third function, facilitate the self-cleansing process of the teeth. This is for the trapezoidal form in the facial and lingual. Okay? Last crown outline is rhomboid. This is found on all mandibular posterior, mesial, and distal aspect. Okay, so rhomboidal in shape, meaning it has an even side on all surfaces. Okay. Fundamentals of rhomboidal form. The rhomboidal outline inclines the crown's lingual to the root bases, bringing cusp into proper occlusion with the cusp of their opponent. So in short, yung rhomboidal form of the proximal surface of mandibular posterior, it helps to form the ideal occlusion. The axis of crown and roots of the teeth of both jaw are kept parallel, so the line of force of mastication is parallel to the long axis of teeth. So, ayun, both of them, this only shows na dapat rhomboidal siya. So tama yung occlusion. Ideal yung occlusion ng tooth. Specifically, the posterior. So by the lingual inclination of upper molars, it overlaps the lower molars, thus protecting the inner surface of the cheek from being bitten during mastication. So napapansin niyo yon na if you have mal-aligned posterior teeth, you are prone to cheek bite. Okay? Pero kung tama yung alignment ng teeth mo, then hindi ka nagkakaroon ng cheek bite. Kasi nagkaroon ng rhomboidal form yung mga posteriors to help not to protect the cheeks. Okay? And I think that's it for, last na to, quote na to. That's it for the second topic of oral anatomy. So, ayan, studying dentistry is easy. It's like riding a bike. Except the bike's on fire, and you're on fire, and everything's on fire because you're in hell. Hindi naman. Okay? Kaya kinagay ko yan, huwag kang mag-alala. Buhay ay hindi karera. You will probably hear na ang hirap ng dent. Totoo naman kasi you're studying to become a doctor. Doctor of dental medicine nga, 'di ba? Okay, so and dentistry not only needs you to be smart, okay, or knowledgeable. It needs you to have proper motor skills. Kailangan may skills ka. Like oral anatomy, it's a combination of lecture and lab. So hindi dapat alam mo lang sa lecture, dapat na-apply mo siya sa lab. Especially sa lab, kailangan you have to carve the tooth, the different anatomic landmarks. Probably you have start carving. So, siyempre, mga first activity, you carve an ice cream. Ano pa mga pinapakarve? Yung time ko kasi, nagpapakarve ako ng first meeting ice cream. Okay? Nag-carve na ba kayo? Hindi pa. Have you started wax carving? Not yet. Okay? Pero bumibili na kayo ng mga instruments, right? So, it could be depressing for some na bakit yung iba ang bilis matuto ng carve? Bakit yung iba gifted? Okay? Pero always remember, skills can be learned. Okay? Nung bata ba kayo, natuto agad kayo maglakad? Siyempre, hindi. Okay? Natuto ba kayo agad nung naging teenager ba kayo or 20s ba kayo? Marunong na agad kayo mag-drive? Hindi, di ba? Natututunan siya. Okay? So, nung una, mabagal ka pa mag-drive, pero kapag magaling ka na, kaskasero ka na. Okay? So, everything, depression talaga. Wag naman. Everything can be learned. May sumasagot sa gilid, di ba? Yung asawa kong coops. Pero, yan, huwag kang mag-alala. Buhay ay hindi karera. So, prelims, don't think na if you can carve well, at least, ako ang lagi kong sinasabi nung nagtuturo ako ng lab, na at least hindi sobrang laki yung na-carve mo. Natuto ka magbawas. Nakagawa ka ng root. Kasi the root is the easiest. You just have to make it cone shape. Okay? So, it needs improvement. And improvement can be done by practice. Okay? So, hindi lahat magaling. Ako hindi ako magaling mag-carve. But kaka-practice, natututunan yan. Gumagaling ka. Okay? So, ganun din sa quiz. Okay? Aral lang. Aral lang. Okay? Do you have any questions? This is a boring topic as compared sa first. Yung first mahirap pero interesting. Ito parang ay. Okay, so again, memorize the age of eruption. Very important yon. Okay? Again, next meeting, walang class because it's a holiday. Quiz would be the week after that. You can check the schedule on the Canvas module. Okay? Wala ding post task for this topic. Okay? Again, submission of the post task sa first module. I think it will be next week kasi 1 week na ngayon eh. So, 2 weeks yun open. So, if you don't have any question, you can leave. Daddy, did you try?